What are we doing?
Waiting on you.
It's y'all's anniversary.
Yeah,
We're live. Just FYI, if you want to know.
And we're live now.
We are live.
We're live on Facebook and Instagram both.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? So you can watch us on either one of those platforms. Eric from All Access Coach, Jim from All Access Coach, Brian from All Access Coach, and today is February the 15th of 2019. And
Yeah, I've already got yelled at.
Jim, I got on him pretty hard. My feelings are hurt.
You weren't the only one.
He just is not very thoughtful like he used to be. And today is mine and Jim's anniversary. We started this company 17 years ago today.
Woo!
Can you believe that? It was me and you, and that was it.
That was it.
And then a couple days later, we had some drivers, and we had Jack come in. And
Dad.
And oh gosh, we were in debt. Golly. Well, we were broke the first day.
Oh, absolutely.
We like to tell the story that I think you had a $10,000 credit card and had you had $5,000 cash. I had zero money, and by 5 o'clock that day we were broke.
Oh, yeah.
And
couldn't have bought a sandwich if we wanted.
oh my gosh, it was rough. But I told the story. Gentleman here in town, Reggie Mudd. Kudos to Reggie. He owned that building that we started in down on North Water 109, right there by the viaduct. And I like to tell the story. We went in there and said, "So here's what we're wanting to do, Reggie. We want to move in today and not pay you any rent until March the 1st. So we want 15 days for free. And then the deposit that you're asking for, we'll pay you that in installments starting in April of $500 a month." So he said, "Well, let me see here. So y'all move in today for free and then start paying on March the 1st and deposits starting on April the 1st. He says, "Man, that sounds like a really great deal for you." But he took the deal, and he told us that, he told us later on, he said, "You know, I figured that day that y'all would be out of there in 30 to 45 days, that y'all wouldn't be there." He says, "You're one of the best renters that we ever had for the, what was it, from 2 till 2009, that he ever had." And anyway, so thank you, Reggie, for taking a gamble on us years ago.
Somebody asked, how many coaches did you have that day when you opened?
At that point, we didn't own anything. We had about 8, wasn't it?
I thought it was like 5.
8 or, no, it was about 8.
It was always told 8.
Yeah.
8 investor buses.
8 investor-owned buses. So somebody else owned the buses. They just gave them to us to run, and we took 10% of the money plus the maintenance. So Jim did the maintenance, and I did the lease side.
You
And still do.
want to tell the story about when Jim was putting in the window? The
Was
windshield?
that was April Fool's Day that year.
The same year.
That same year.
Yeah,
It was April
2
Fool's.
months later.
2 months.
So he's putting a windshield in a bus, and I come out. I said, "Just stop, just stop, just stop." I said, "What's wrong?" I said, "The investors have pulled the buses. They're
No, he
taking."
didn't even say it like that. He said it real. I
I
mean,
said
like he had lost his best friend.
Man, it's over. They're taking the buses out here. Do what? Yeah.
Now I'm sitting here.
I mean, we had probably just like the week earlier got our first check that me and you got was $200 a piece
Yeah,
for the
actually
week.
be able to eat
Yeah.
that week.
And anyway, after he had his heart attack and we hit him with the defibrillator, and he came back, I told him April Fools.
Yeah, just wrong.
Yeah.
It was wrong.
Anyway,
It was wrong.
so today it's a 17-year anniversary, and we are rocking and rolling.
How much of this success do you think is luck and timing versus just skill and vision?
Oh, I'll be honest with you. I think ain't none of it luck. It was hard work. Is
Yeah.
what it was. I mean, it was doing the things that nobody else was willing to do, and that's what.
What did you see as the need at that time?
Well, somebody needed a bus company that was willing to be available 24 hours a day and take care of the problems that need to be taken care of, and that's
Well,
what we did.
Not for a better lack of words, screw the
Through the investor.
investor.
Yeah.
Which was happening.
That
big
was
time.
common.
People-
That was common. That's common practice, and we did it just the opposite way. I'll never forget it. The guys that gave us the first round of buses said flat out, said, don't talk to us about a new bus. We ain't buying any more buses. We don't want to hear the word bus. We hate buses. Don't ask us. We're not doing it. And about a year and a half later, it was, hey man, y'all want to buy a bus with us? Let's buy some buses.
It's actually
And,
making money.
yeah.
Instead of just
So
getting
they came back to us and said, let's buy some buses together. Let's do some stuff, and because they were actually making money for a change.
How many coaches now compared to your 8 borrowed?
The 8 investor buses, we now have 42 buses, 43 buses on the road, and we own all or a part of every one of those. So we don't really have any investors anymore. So Jim owns some, I own some, me and Jim own some together. So we have a couple of partners on a couple of buses, but not many anymore. But we own all or a part of those. What other questions might you have from the gallery over there?
That's all I had right now.
That's all you've got?
That's all I had.
Well, it's pretty exciting to just know that we started with nothing, and
You moved how many times?
how many times we moved?
Yeah,
Just once.
One time.
We bought this building in 2008, August of 2008, and moved in September of 2009 after we
But
renovated.
you have added more onto the
This
building.
yes. And we're doing it again. Fixing to do another addition here in the next couple of weeks.
And this is where you guys met and
Yeah.
started working together
It was in this building,
property.
right? So it's kind of a crazy thing to think that we can't. Tim Dillon had Music City coach in this building. We both worked for him. We left, and then come back, 10 years later, basically, and buy the building where we started. And
which was scary.
yeah, and
Jumping out like
when we bought it and it was junk, we ended up sinking about $1 million in it, and but the rest
I'll
is
still
here.
never forget when you walked across the shop first time I met you.
Yep.
First time, and Rhonda was coming about 20 feet from you carrying some more stuff.
And what did you think when you saw me
I
first
thought-
time? Just go ahead and say it.
Well,
Yeah.
I said, look at that arrogant ass. You could just, he just like he owned that place.
That was when you were working at the other place.
No, that's right.
Here,
right
right
in
down
the
the
shop.
hallway.
I was a driver. I was
Cowboy
coming.
boots.
He was a driver, and
I was coming in as a driver first time I
I
met
was a
Jim.
mechanic, and I hadn't been down here.
He just thought I was very arrogant. But
He was.
It wasn't arrogance; it was confidence, is what it was.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it just took me a couple days to figure that out.
That was what's so funny is because I drove for probably a year, and then come off the road, and then came into the office, and Jim and I were certainly friends while I was driving. I kind of think that I, of course, respected his opinion of stuff, but I also was a little bit different about. I'd give him information instead of just saying, "Well, this don't work. I don't know what." I'd say, "Well, I can do this, and this will work, but it won't work here." And so we'd kind of walk through some stuff, and I think I had enough common sense and mechanically inclined that I could help keep my equipment running until I got it back home. But then when we started in the office, we just worked well together. I leased the buses then, and he did all the mechanical stuff. And I said, several years later, we just decided we could do that on our own, and we did. And man, it was a great move.
Got a question from Country Life 80.
Yeah.
What's the best place to get parts for an Eagle?
Upstairs.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you ask because we actually are setting up our Eagle parts room now. We have quite a bit of Eagle parts, but we don't know what all we have just yet. We bought out some different companies that had Eagle parts, and we've got them all in storage, and we're going through that now. That'll be a project coming up soon as the weather warms up just a little bit. But
And if you need any quick, Jefferson Truck is they're auctioning everything off right now. The rest of what they do have. So
yeah, that's in what is that? That's in Oklahoma City, isn't it?
I think they might
Jefferson
started
Truck, they may have
proxy
already-
bid yesterday.
Goodson Bus Sales has Eagle parts. They're in North Carolina. You can Google them. And I know that you can talk to John Spellings at Bus for Sale. I think he's got parts too. So they're out there.
Mike Hossman says hello, and Eddie from O'Reilly says hello.
Nice. Hello, guys.
Mike and Eddie.
Yeah.
What are you excited about for 2019?
Well, we're building
Building on to the
on a
building.
bit more.
Yeah. And
A little more room.
Probably toward the end of the year, we'll probably be starting our plans for the additional building that we're gonna put up to kind of help with our storage problem and things like that. But you know, just
Out of room already. Amazing.
yeah, out of room. That's a funny story too, because we bought the building in '09. We had a Ryder truck rented the back half of the building, and boy, we just thought, man, I hope they never move out, because you know, this would be great. They can help us pay our mortgage and everything. And about a year and a half into it, we was doing everything we could to get them to move because we needed the space.
We offered them money to get out.
Yeah, so it's just amazing the growth that we've had, and you know, we've been blessed for sure. You know, good Lord's blessed us tremendously with what we have, and the people that we have, and you know, I will say this: there's a lot of people that helped us get to 17 years. Some of those people were here for a season. Some of those people are still here, but all of the people that contributed, you know, a special thank you to them. Again, some weren't here, but just for a small amount of time, and they moved on. Some moved on their own free will. Some moved on because we asked them to, but still don't discount what they brought to the table to help us get where we are today, for sure. And I think Jim, it was a pretty gutsy call for him to jump up and quit his job too, a steady job to go on.
He talked me into it.
I talked him into it. I did. And if you look back 17 years ago at what we both had then and what's here today, is the best move we ever made.
Absolutely.
By far. So
It didn't seem like that long ago when you guys said y'all wouldn't never build a bus.
yeah. Well, you know, I've learned one thing: never say never in this business, because you just don't know. You know.
Somebody asked, do you cycle out your coaches by mileage, or do you just wait until it costs more to keep them rolling?
You know, we do them by miles, by years. That's a change in philosophy that we're actually looking at now. So
Yeah, we were thinking that, you know, hey, we could keep the old buses fixed up, and we have. We've got buses, you know, 1.2 million, 1.3 million miles on that. Somebody comes in and looks at it, and they can't tell the difference between that one and one that's brand new beside it. But between the maintenance, technology, and whatnot, we finally decided that it's just smarter to not keep them near as long and just keep cycling new ones.
yeah, we'll flip them out now every 5 to 7 years is the plan, and just keeps the fleet fresh. And with us doing our own interiors now, technology changes. You just got better equipment. I mean, sound barrier, deadener stuff. I mean, just all kinds of things there that make it worthwhile to do. So
What number build are we on now?
I don't know if it's 12 or 13.
Web Dusty is asking, says congratulations, and is Brian ever going to get a jacket in the next 17 years?
No, he's not driving.
No, he's not. He won't ever have a.
Now Jim's he's switched over now.
He won't ever have a driver's jacket, Dusty. But you know.
May have a vest or something.
No, not even a vest. I mean, there's no vest. It's a full-blown jacket or nothing. And we actually may look at a management jacket, but that's probably going to be a 20-year deal on a management jacket. You know.
We'll
So me and Jim are close. We're 3 years away from getting a management jacket.
we'll definitely copy that from a Miramar standpoint,
Yeah.
something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's an owner's vote, and then the president has the option to veto if it's a tie.
Correct.
So I'll
Correct.
never get a jacket.
You know what? You wouldn't want the jacket now. You wouldn't be the same.
I put it in a shadow box with
Well,
you
see, that
guys
was-
handing it to me
Yeah,
with
yeah.
a handshake.
Well, see, that's why I wouldn't do it, because if you're not going to wear it, I mean, ain't no sense giving it to you. So, man, it's nice to celebrate our anniversary.
And I am sorry, I forgot.
You didn't give me any flowers
I
or
will
nothing.
try to make that next year.
You wait.
I will.
You wait till these cameras are turned
I'll
off.
put it on the calendar.
Hey, I put it on your calendar. It's a reoccurring event now.
Yeah.
So.
So
Good.
it is a big deal. You know, we celebrated it 10 years and had a big shindig, and we'll do it again. I know at 20 years we'll
Do it at 30.
you know, and yeah, we'll do it at 30. We may be in walkers or wheelchairs, but we'll do it for definitely sure. What is this, Jim?
Yeah.
30 what? Yeah. Anyway, again, thank you guys for watching us here, and thanks to everybody that has helped us get to 17 17 years. I can't name everybody because we'd be here till tomorrow at this time, but I'll do it like they do on the big award show. You guys know who you are. I want to thank management, and I want to thank but I can't thank everybody, but thank all you guys, and more importantly, thank you fans.